All right, so we have a Pelican Vault 730. First thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and open the case. Now the Pelican Vaults have obviously their own lid foam. They also have their own base foam. This is an open cell foam and it's very common. Now depending on which model, you may have one sheet of base foam or two sheets. What we want to do is remove the two base foam sheets. And we'll retain the lid foam. Next, you'll want to just make sure that the base of the case is free of debris. There's not a lot of dirt, sand, or anything. If there is, obviously clean it out. You definitely want to start with a brand new slate. So when you purchase our system, you'll receive a few items. So our supplied base foam that must be used, the grid end panels and center panels. Depending on what model you have, it may have 1, 2, or 3 center panels. There will always be 2 end panels. And then the grid blocks. You'll have, in this case, 8 doubles and 8 triples. Once again, just like the center panels, depending on what model you have, it will vary on the amount of blocks that comes with the system. So when you install our base foam, there is a bit of a gap around the case or around the case walls. That's okay. It is just base foam and it is supporting the panels. The most important aspect of this is that you must use our foam because that will set the correct height for the panels and the blocks to sit, kind of optimizing the amount of compression needed to secure your items. The next step is identifying the end panels and center panels. So the end panels will have rounded edges, 2 rounded edges, and then 2 hard angles, and then obviously interlocking teeth. What I like to do is take an end panel and I install an end panel first. I take it and kind of come in at an angle and then press the end panel against the case walls and then press down. What will happen is you'll kind of look in the corners and the end panels will, kind of start taking shape. It's always important to make sure that the end panels have been seated and that they are pressed down. Next thing is a center panel. So obviously center panels have all hard edges on all 4 corners, and they are typically smaller than end panels. The center panels are made to mate with the end panels. And so when you place them together, it's almost a seamless transition from panel to panel. Again, I kind of come at it a downward angle and then almost cam the panel in. Very little force is needed. It's a very simple install. Kind of the same thing. I press against the panel, pushing it into the case wall, and then I press down. For the Vault 730, you only have 2 center panels. I'll do the exact same thing, kind of repeating the process. I come in at an angle, I push down, and then make sure that I continue to push against the entire system, making sure that it's compressed against the case wall. Now there are a couple of techniques involved in installing the final end panel. What I like to do is lift that last center panel, kind of create like a small tent, and I make sure that the interlocking teeth of the panel kind of meet, and then press down. And then I just go ahead and make sure that all the panels are seated. And like I said before, there almost be kind of this seamless transition from panel to panel, and it creates a nice board. So with the Vault 730, like I said before, you receive 8 double blocks and 8 triple blocks. We like to install all of the blocks and close the case and allow the system to basically settle. It is foam. The EPP is stiffer than your open cell foam. So it likes to take a set and will fit a lot better if you just wait 24 hours that we specified in the directions. When you're placing the blocks in the grid panel to allow it to set for 24 hours, try not to place all of the blocks in the center of the case. you want to place the blocks almost as if you were installing a rifle. So all the blocks need to be touching the case walls, or most of the blocks need to be touching the case walls. So I'll install 6 of the triples here, 2 triples on the outside, and then just use the rest of the double blocks on this wall closest to the handle. Again, pressing down, and then we'll close the lid. When you close the lid, there may be some tension, but that's the point of allowing it to settle for 24 hours. This just gives the grid enough time to settle, and we'll come back the next day and install our rifle.